Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour on Saga 960 AM. I come to you every Monday through Friday at 6 o'clock on 960 AM or streamed online at www.saga960am.ca. Or you can always get my videocast or podcast after the fact at briancrombie.com. So one of my favorite festivals to go to year after year in Celebration Square is the Mosaic Festival. And I'm joined tonight by Asma Mahmood and Arshad Mahmood, who are the organizers of this festival, and it's been going on for numerous years. But this year, obviously, it had to be a little bit different. So I wanted to find out a little bit about it. Asma, how are you today?
I'm very well, Brian. It's so good to see you. It's a strange world we are living in nowadays, and to see friends online is a blessing. I think we are all mindful of our technological limitations, but we are gratefully overcoming those difficulties with the help of our children and our.
So tell me what's happened to Mosaic. What are you doing? You're doing Mosaic virtually this year?
Mosaic is app. Here's our
Hello, Arshad. How are you?
Hey, Brian. Let me say a great evening and late afternoon to you and to all your listeners and people who are watching us.
Thank you so much. Nice to see you. So Mosaic is happening right now, and it's happening virtually. Tell us a little bit about it, if you could.
What we did was we could anticipate certain issues with the programming right in the beginning of the year. We knew it wasn't going to happen live on site. The city eventually came back with the decision of not allowing any of the festivals to take place live in the Celebration Square. But we had already designed a digital strategy of delivering the festival. As you are actually familiar with Mosaic and you understand the quality that we represent, the biggest task for us was during this digital strategy to maintain and to live up to our reputation that we have in the past, delivered a product that nobody has been able to match. So we always set the bar a little high. So what we did was we expanded the strategy to 28 weeks. Actually 14 weeks, I'm sorry, my apologies, 14 weeks. So 14 weeks, 3 months of strategy in which we started, and Asma is going to give you a little bit of detail on that, what we actually did. But what we did was we included the people who have suffered the most during this COVID pandemic, and those people are the artists. So we wanted maximum number of artists. We wanted to include the maximum number of Canadian artists, as well as international artists, obviously. But at the same time, we also wanted industry professionals. We wanted people who were in the field of digital broadcasting, just like the people you have who are supporting you. We went out and we acquired state-of-the-art software and hardware to deliver this product, because we did not want the Mosaic to do another Zoom show. We wanted it to be professional, to look professional, and to feel professional, and also to suit the caliber of artists that we were presenting. So in this series of 28 interviews spanning on 14 weeks, in which here this beautiful girl, Asma, the artistic director for Mosaic Festival and CCI, was the one who handled that. She's going to talk to you a little more about the interviews, who they were and what we were discussing and what happened and what not. But we have 3 components, and the other component is Rock the Coliseum. So Rock the Coliseum actually presented during this past weekend, 7th and 8th of August, a digital concert, especially recorded live for TD Mosaic Festival and Rock the Coliseum 2020, celebrating its 15th anniversary, and inviting some of the major headliners from previous years and some new Canadian artists, independent bands. And the last segment, which is to come in November, is going to be the MISAF, the film festival segment of Mosaic Festival, which is Mosaic International South Asian Film Festival, which will be presented in November this year. So I'm going to give the mic back to Asma so she can talk to you a little bit about the interviews and the performances that she managed during the past 3 months.
Well, it sounds like a huge accomplishment. Before we go into the detail of what you actually did, if people want to access it, how do they do that, Asma?
Uh, all our interviews that we are doing are going on our YouTube channel, as well as on our website, as well as on our Facebook.
And the website is what?
The website is mosaicfest.com. These three projects of Canadian Community Arts Initiative are, two of them are celebrating 15th anniversary. We have been in this city for 15 years as Mosaic Festival, and Rock the Coliseum Indie Music Festival has been there for 15 years. So we were already planning something special for 15th anniversary of both events. And since we were in touch with artists, we were talking to them to make a special project, a digital project, as a matter of fact. So we thought we'll take it on and put it on all the available mediums that we have. So it is on our YouTube channel, they are on our Facebook, it will all be on our website as well, and with links to various other areas of our organizational.
Well, I got to tell you, I have been lucky enough to come to several of your festivals. So if your content online is anything like your live festivals, I think it's going to be spectacular. We're chatting with Asma and Arshad Mahmood tonight, the creative talent and organizational talent behind the Mosaic Festival, which has gone virtual this year online. We're going to take a break for some messages and come right back. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour. Tonight we're chatting with Asma and Arshad Mahmood, the organizers of the Mosaic Festival, the TD Mosaic Festival, which is a great event every year at Celebration Square in Mississauga. And this year, because of COVID-19, like a lot of other things that had to have gone into their home office, sort of. And Asma, Arshad sort of gave us an overview of what you were doing, but can you go into a little bit of detail now on what Mosaic Festival is, which is really a mosaic of bringing a bunch of different cultures together, I believe, and who you've been interviewing, and is it just talk, or is it music, or what? But tell me about it.
It's actually a multidisciplinary arts activity that we conduct at Mosaic Festival, because I'm a visual artist. And we have a team of artists and people who are in various mediums of art. We bring together theater, music, dance, comedy, spoken word, cuisine, and fashion, of course, in through our festival to the citizens of Mississauga and GTA. This is the oldest running festival in the place, which now is called Celebration Square. Mosaic started happening before Celebration Square was made. And by virtue of our 15th anniversary, we are the oldest running festival over there, as well as this Rock the Coliseum. Mosaic Festival, this year we concentrated on, in the first 3 months, we are concentrating on music and dance only. So we are getting in touch with all the past alumni of Mosaic Festival, mostly the headliners, the performers, big names, the local artists who have performed at Mosaic. We are getting in touch with them, and then we conduct a 1-hour interview session with them where we chat, we talk about what they are doing currently, about their practice, the challenges, and also the new work that they are creating. Also, we talk about their contemporaries and how they are, how do they see the future, and with hope. Of course, all of them are doing that, but it's giving a glimpse into their lives, which otherwise our audience wouldn't get. Yeah. So for us, that was very important. And that is the reason why we do these TD Mosaic Noon Talks. They're sponsored by TD Bank and Greenwich Health Products, as well as Laziz Shawarma. We get the funding support from City of Mississauga, Canada Council for the Arts, Factor Canada, Ontario Arts Council, and of course, Province of Ontario. So these grants that have come in, they have enabled us to put together this show this year. We are paying all our artists the better than Carfax suggested fees so that we can support our artists.
Tell me, how are they surviving? It's got to be unbelievably tough with, no live entertainment.
It is. As a matter of fact, what we tried to do, or what we attempted to do this year, Brian, is we are converting the challenge into an opportunity. So when we started delivering this digital strategy and the interviews and talks and a glimpse into the life of the people that you would not otherwise have, and to hear them out in the capacity of a person, as a human being, how they have been impacted and how they are trying to overcome all of the issues and problems and consequences and repercussions and all of the issues which are taking place. They are short on cash, they are short on performances, there's no live performances happening, people are not hiring artists, and all of these things together, all of the industry professionals. So when you talk to them, you hear them out. So what we have decided to do, the success of this particular, I wouldn't say that experiment, but this endeavor has been so immense. Over 1 million people have seen these interviews and performances so far. Over
Fantastic. Congratulations.
people. And I'm not talking about the reach. I'm talking about the actual views. So over 1 million people have seen these. So what we decided was, we discussed about continuing this process even after the pandemic and make it a permanent part, the interviews and noon talks and all that, permanent part of Mosaic Festival each year. And there's nothing stopping us, because we have acquired the software, we have the hardware, we have the talent, we have contracted the technical team, which is one of the best in Mississauga and the GTA, and we are delivering the live broadcast. This was the first time, as a matter of fact, one of the last couple of weeks ago, we had an artist from India, an artist from Pakistan, an artist from London, UK, and us sitting in Canada. So 3 countries and us in Canada, and Asma conducting that specific interview from here. That segment of that interview was watched in, I think, all of the continents, because when people log in and people, you find out where they are from and what continent and city and town and the city, their country they're representing. There were people from Saudi Arabia, people from Muscat, Oman, people from Pakistan, people from India, and I wouldn't even go into the detail of all those number of cities that I'm talking about.
Fantastic.
But people from Canmore, Ontario, people from Shelburne, Ontario, people from Niagara Falls, Ontario. So all kind of people were able to log in to that particular show and enjoy that performance. And at one time, we had over 265 people watching, live.
Fantastic.
Interacting.
Congratulations. So give me a sense, what is this new software, new hardware that you've been using that makes it so much better than the typical Zoom call as you described it, Asma?
Yeah, a typical Zoom call doesn't have to do anything with the hardware, as a matter of fact, right? So Zoom would be replaced by a professional software which we acquired on the other hand. But software and hardware are 2 different things. So hardware would be state-of-the-art computer, an HD camera which has the zooming capability, all the lights where you could control the color temperature and everything. So when people see your production, they see a proper production. They don't see
it looks like a TV studio,
right? We're not just bridging the gap. We're creating something new. So Mosaic didn't come in to bridge the gap. Mosaic came in to create something new. So it is itself the product. And that's what we did with the Mosaic Noon Talks. And the way she carried them, it was incredible. You should watch them.
I have, actually. So give me a sense, Asma, this one that was Pakistan and London, England. Who did you have on?
Oh, I had a wonderful, one of the biggest names in our music industry. His name is Bobby Friction. Bobby Friction started as a DJ and then ended up with BBC Asia. And he is a maverick, complete maverick. He's considered one of the biggest authorities on South Asian contemporary music, as well as independent music. And Bobby Friction is one of those activists who have worked really hard for artists of color and for Black artists to get airtime and face time on British television and British radio. So it was my absolute honor to get hold of Bobby Friction and able to talk to him, as well as talking to one of the biggest names in Indian industry for music, that is Kailash Kher. Then we had Shafqat Amanat Ali Khan, who I interview, I talked to. These are all those people who have worked with us, who have performed at Mosaic. So we shared wonderful memories of their performance at Mosaic Festival. When, for example, Shafqat Amanat Ali was here, that was the first time, that was 2012. And that was for the first time that Celebration Square saw more than 35,000 people.
55,000 people. That's spectacular.
We had, and let me interject here, because maybe she's not doing the justice with creating the kind of sensation that we would expect to create, because there were people parked in the Square One parking after packing the complete North and South Celebration Square. People in the parking lot of the Square One, standing on top, on the roofs of their minivans, watching from there. So that was Shafqat Amanat Ali Khan show. It's historical. It's historical, and we had Shafqat again, obviously, on the noon talk, and that is the kind of the feel that we got from these noon talks in the first couple of weeks. That, you know what, this is a product which should not only be for 2020. Let's continue with the 3D Mosaic noon talks in 2021, and also include, and Asma's going to brief you on that as well, the detail on that, also include other genres. So it doesn't only have to be music. We include other aspects of arts and culture as well. So that would be the painting, that would be the ceramic, so all kind of arts will come under the umbrella of 3D Mosaic noon talks in future.
No, I think it's a wonderful initiative, and great that you keep the connection with the people that have enjoyed Mosaic so much in the past. But I also think, and obviously with your funding, you're able to do this. Artists particularly are really hurting, with no live music opportunities, no entertainment gigs, hiring them to do this thing or that thing. Plus, they lose the connection with their fans and the audience that they have. I've interviewed a couple, and some of them have found a good opportunity to be creative and produce albums or songs or new collaboratives. But it's challenging when the money's not coming in.
There is another problem that I see, and that is that there are artists who are selling themselves too short. I am looking at so many internet-based mediums that have come up where the artists are talking, they're performing, and they don't get paid a cent for that, what they're doing. And artists have to understand something, that if they are losing gigs, live gigs, now these internet mediums now are their gigs, and they should be getting paid for it. You're giving, playing music for some Instagram chat or something is without getting paid, should not be an option on table at all. So with your help, I would like to implore artists and people from entertainment industry, do not sell yourself short. Do not give out performances unless and until you're getting paid for it.
You see, I remember what my advice to the artists and people who are related in the field: whenever you get an invitation to come and perform for free, gratis, please say what Barbara Bush said, and that was, just say no. All right, so that's my advice for everybody. If you start saying no, people will learn. There is no reason why you should perform for free. There is absolutely no need for you to perform for free. And don't let people come and say, oh, it's the internet, so it doesn't matter, just one song. No, yes, no. That's the bottom line.
Well, I think it's great that you've got the funding for that, because I think it is challenging for people to find those opportunities. A friend of mine has been doing wonderful live performances on Instagram and Facebook Live during the evenings on weekends. I put up the laptop while I was eating dinner on the patio one evening, and asking for donations. And so not getting paid, but certainly asking for donations. And, I think she made a few dollars, but not much.
Yeah, I think it's too soon for us to come to any conclusion whether it's going to happen or it's not. Eventually, that's what's going to happen. That's what the future is. We just found something new. So we got to learn to use it, and we got to learn to use it to our advantage and benefit. And I'm referring to the artists. So yeah, digitally, one step at a time, but we will soon reach a place where the artists will be able to sell themselves for the price they think they deserve. and
Now,
they will be able to charge.
for a vocalist, a band, I can understand that. Now, one of the things I've loved at Mosaic in the past has been some of your dance groups. There was this one group that you used to have to close on Saturday nights every year that were just spectacular. Maybe you can. What's the name of the group?
Yeah, there's Shamak Davar Dance School, and they have over 2,000 students in GTA. They do rehearsals in Mississauga as well, in Living Arts Center. Of course, everything is right now online. So they haven't given up. They are doing their online classes too.
But how can they perform?
Sorry?
How can they perform and make money right now?
They cannot. What we are doing for them is we are facilitating the artists' activities, their classes, and online lessons that they're doing. So remember one thing, that when one resource closes up, 10 other open up. And this is what has happened with dance schools, because all the gyms were closed. So people were now doing everything from home. So they were doing dance workshops for exercise classes. Everything was happening online now. And the funny thing is that Bollywood dancing online has become really a rave. It has become.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Bollywood dancing online sounds like fun.
Yes. Yeah, we're gonna start seeing some Bollywood marsh pits.
Oh, yeah.
I can do it.
Absolutely.
I'm a good Bollywood dancer, no question.
Yeah.
We're chatting with it's screwing the light bulbs. Isn't that what the thing is? Screwing the light bulbs. Good stuff. We're chatting with Asma and Arshad Mahmood, the creative talent and organization talent behind the Mosaic Festival, TD Mosaic Festival, that's gone online this year with a noon talks that you can get through mosaicfestival.ca or .com.
.com.
.com. We're going to take a break for a message and come back and hear more about the evolution of Mosaic in just a minute. Stay with us.
Hi.
Well, I think that festivals have had a real challenge this year, and we're chatting with Arshad and Asma Mahmood, the organization people behind the Mosaic, TD Mosaic Festival, and their 15th year at Celebration Square that didn't happen this year, but has gone virtual. And they also run an organization, the Canadian Community Arts Initiative, CCAI. And I got to tell you, 2 years ago, that the memories just popped up on Facebook. You were very kind, and you gave me an award for Community Activist of the Year, and I was very honored to receive that award and speak at one of your media launches for the Mosaic Festival. It's very kind of you. Thank you very much. But you've had a huge impact, I think, on festivals, on the arts, on what's been going on in Mississauga and the greater GTA. But also, I think the two of you have done a great job in bringing different cultures together, which I guess is the whole essence of what Mosaic is all about. Is it not?
Actually, it was a great opportunity that we got when we started Mosaic Festival in this city square. We did not realize that our festival will yield such a great result, that at the end of the day, Celebration Square will be made, because city will realize that this particular festival, which brings its own stage, its own toilets, its own everything in the city square, would become such a happening thing that city will seriously start thinking about developing the whole place, because we pushed for that development, and then Celebration Square will be made. So we are very fortunate that we love to take credit for it, because we were the ones who initiated the whole process there. But having said that, I think that another thing that reflects our success and the success of the city as a cultural space is that there are so many festivals happening now. There is not a single weekend available or day available in the Celebration Square. We started the tradition of screening films, outdoor films, in 2007. When we brought in an outdoor screening of Bollywood films and all. And now City does that regularly with the sponsorship and shows the films. And we had to take our film festival to a film theater. Now, so all these things show that the city is is very creative, the culture division is very active, and communities realize the importance of art and culture. That is why all the communities in Mississauga have their own festivals, which are very beautiful representation of culture and of people. Meanwhile, Mosaic Festival has made its place where we don't not only represent the finest in South Asian art and culture, but we also try to engage other cultures, other communities with South Asian culture, because it's such a huge, massive number of people who come under the umbrella of South Asian culture. Indigenous communities of Canada, we have engaged them with our festival on so many levels. You will really enjoy the talk that I had with David R. Miracle, who's a Mohawk artist and has performed for Mosaic Festival. We also sent him to Pakistan for an artist residency in 2006. 2000.
He's a percussionist, is he not?
He is actually a multifaceted musician. He's percussions and he does flutes and drums, everything. It's very, very, and you introduced me to him, for God's sakes, at the Love concert.
Exactly.
So we took him and we flew with him.
That's
so I had an amazing interview with him for Noon Talk. And the fun part was that was the very day when we found out that Jesse Wendt, who is actually one of the people I admire the most amongst the Indigenous thinkers and activists, has become the chair of Canada Council. First Indigenous person.
Excellent.
To do so
yeah, I enjoyed David Merkel an unbelievable amount, because he was he did a mosaic himself in all the different instruments that he brought together. Absolutely. It was sort of like the feeling I get when I listen to Enya, that Irish performer that had so many different unbelievably beautiful sounds. And that's one of the things that your festival did a great job of, is bringing so many different talents that I otherwise wouldn't have been exposed to the
Absolutely.
stage.
We brought in a whole jazz ensemble from Boston last year, the Berklee College Indian Ensemble, which is comprised of people from all over the world, from Israel, from Jordan, you name it. And they all came. We had 19 of their musicians and singers who came to Mosaic last year. And Berklee College is the world's largest independent music school. So, and we tallied him with an Indian, one of the leading Indian, South Indian artists, Vijay Prakash. And it was a spectacular evening that we had with them for Mosaic Festival.
Yeah, so if I may just add something here, because I'm feeling that there is an essence of Mosaic Festival which has not been explored at this time in this talk so far. But people who don't know Mosaic Festival, people who don't are not familiar with the history of the Mosaic Festival, it is important to know what Mosaic Festival is and why Mosaic Festival is, and how and why did we start Mosaic Festival. You see, the most important thing in any city is its people. People make the city. And people are losing, and that's what we feel in North America, people are losing touch with neighborhoods. There are no more neighborhoods being formed. People are getting away. The highways are being built. If you look at the North American philosophy of urban sprawl and big, large houses and moving out and moving about, there are no more neighborhoods being created. So how do you create a neighborhood? You create an activity in which people walk to places. They start recognizing, identifying themselves with those certain venues, the areas, the shops, the restaurants, and all of those things. There was no place in the downtown Mississauga back in the days when we are talking about 2006 and all that, to walk to anywhere. I would want to walk to. Where do I walk to? Nowhere. Okay. So let's give them an activity with which they can walk to that activity, they can come, they can enjoy, they can relate to that venue. They can take the ownership of that venue and become a citizen who is interested in well-being of the city in which that venue is.
Okay, and Arshad, I couldn't agree with you more. However, 55,000 people in Celebration Square is not a neighborhood. It is something far larger than that. So I think that, the town square in either Streetsville or down at Huron, Ontario and Lakeshore Boulevard would be comparable to what you're describing. But I think what you're doing is you're doing something bigger than that. You're not creating neighborhoods, you're creating communities. You're turning a city into a community. And I think one of the problems that we've had in the past is that our cities just become geographical locations. They don't become social networks. They don't become the communities that people thrive in because they meet other people, do business together, share cultures, create charities, etc. And one of the things that I've loved about the two of you is you've both been so involved in community building. And I think that's what Mosaic has done. I think that's what the two of you have done. I think that's what Celebration Square has done. It's drawn 55,000 people from across all of Mississauga, and frankly, sometimes from wider than that.
Yeah, and reminds me of the year in 2009 when I spoke on the stage and I said, people have been going to Toronto to play and come to Mississauga to sleep. We want people to come to Mississauga to play as well. So Mississaugan's play, and people from outside should also come to Mississauga and play, not just to sleep. And that is exactly what has happened now. 55,000 people coming into Celebration Square, day in and day out throughout the summer. And that is the kind of activity that Mosaic wanted to create. And we are glad we took the
Well, you've done a fantastic job at it. Now, assuming that the world comes back to something more closer to normal with a vaccine or something like that in 2021, what's the future of Mosaic?
Mosaic is, you see, every project without evolving further is not feasible. So Mosaic continues to evolve. We started with the Rock the Coliseum and Mosaic Festival, then we moved on to the film festival as well. So right now, Mississauga's only film festival is actually MISAF, the Mosaic International South Asian Film Festival, which not only screens South Asian content, but we also screen Canadian content. We screen anything, any language film that has any semblance of Canadian in it, we do screen those. That means, and then by virtue of being South Asian, we have a huge canvas, including Caribbean, including UK, Australia, South Asia, of course, is there, and South Asia itself comprises of 8 countries. So we have a very large canvas which we are working with in the film. And because film has no such compulsion, no such restriction for screening, so we are going on with digital format on the film. We believe that in next 2-3 years, we will need to keep a distance. We will not be in the safe area, per se, but our work for our artist community, for it to survive and for it to thrive, we will have to find means to digitize, to monetize the digital contents in a way that the support can go to the artists. We hope, I have heard that SOCAN and Canada Council and all these funders will be working on some platform which will be available for artists, where you can go to that platform, pay some money and watch the performance. But having said that, I find that doing live performance, doing live interaction with audience is absolutely the key for artists to create better work and for audience to remain engaged.
I think there's something special about being part of a community, a crowd, an audience, whatever you want to call it, that are all singing together or dancing together or snapping fingers or stomping feet or doing something in unison. I got to tell you, and you may not identify with this, but at Easter, which is a Christian holiday that you're undoubtedly aware of, a church I go to invites everyone to join in with the choir and actually sit in the choir stall with someone who has the similar tone or voice or whatever you call it to you, and sing the whatever it's called, the 7-point Amen. And I do it every year, and I get to actually perform from the choir loft. It is the most stirring experience of every year. It's wonderful.
Never heard you sing, man. One of these days, I'd love to hear you sing. We got to put you on the stage of Mosaic Festival next year. You better perform there, eh?
Absolutely.
Hey, little known fact, but I was the lead singer in a punk rock band in high school.
You got to be kidding me. Oh my God.
I kid you not.
Oh my God. Because I was a drummer of a rock band back in the days of my high school.
We could do it together, buddy.
Absolutely. But
We're chatting with Asma and Arshad Mahmood, the organizers of the Mosaic Festival. We're going to take another break and come back with some concluding comments in just a minute. Stay with us. Well, Arshad Mahmood and Brian Crombie are going to set up a band. Arshad's going to play drums, and I'm going to be the singer. And we're going to be headlining the Mosaic Festival next year. And we're not going to get 55,000 people. We'll be lucky if we get 5.5 people in the audience, but it'll be fun. Anyway, we're chatting with Arshad and Asma Mahmood, the organizers of the Mosaic Festival. It's gone online this year, and they're doing twice weekly over the course of 17-week noontime interviews with some of the past stars of the Mosaic Festival, headliners and others. And I recommend, I've watched one of them. It was wonderful. Asma does a great job in interviewing. So I highly recommend you get that on YouTube channel, Facebook channel, and on their website.
We try to keep it in English so that maximum amount of people can enjoy them.
Excellent. Asma, I met you when you were on the board of the Mississauga Arts Council. And Arshad, I met you, I guess, through that and Mosaic Festival. You were on the board of the Art Gallery in Mississauga, and then you ran for City Council. Why are the two of you so involved in stuff, in community city stuff?
We were always like that. I was 17 and he was about 18 and a half. We started the first youth band of Islamabad. We started the first youth organization of Islamabad. We were always involved in these activities, especially artistic and community activities. So I think that is something which we just had, and then we just polished it on each other. And when we came to Canada, our kids were the reason why we became more active, because our kids hated Mississauga and they called it Misery Saga. So they said, nothing happens here. So we said, okay, so we must put something here. So that's first we started helping them with it used to be called the garage,
underground
garage sale that they started, where they would give everybody tables for $10 or $50 and then have some bands perform and give that money to the bands and the young artisans who would sell things. We helped them with that. And then we started the Mosaic, when we started Mosaic Festival.
As a matter of fact, before you go there to Mosaic Festival, the underground garage sale, Sidra Mahmood, one of the twins, was picked up by the city of Mississauga, and she was the recipient of RBC Young Entrepreneur Award of, I believe, 2007 or 8 or something of that sort, 2006. And Mayor McCallion gave her the award. So it just a trip down the memory lane, Brian.
So we started it for our children, because our children hated this city. And we said that there's no reason that why we can't do something to inspire the young people, to do something for the young people. So Rock the Coliseum was for the young people, because our kids didn't want to listen to the music that we heard, but we were very conniving. We thought that, if we keep helping them, then finally, the spillover would be to Mosaic Festival, and everybody will start enjoying, the non-South Asian kids would also start enjoying Mosaic. And that's exactly what happened. Now we have a spillover effect. We have so many non-South Asians who are the fans of Mosaic Festival. They love the music. And not only that, Brian, I think the biggest thing that we were able to do with Mosaic Festival, through Mosaic Festival, was to create a very unique audience, an audience which comes there without the regard for rhythm. They come there purely for the love of music, good music, and dance and spoken word. They come there for good food, and they come there for good ambience. And that is the thing. We have experimented now so many times with things which I could not even think of doing 10 years ago. For example, ending the festival with a classical dance. Can you imagine? And people not only enjoying the dance, but understanding each and every nuance in that dance and appreciating that. And putting a guy from Montreal with a glass violin on his platform shoes performing with them. So the thing is that I'm glad to say that their tastes in Mississauga have definitely improved a lot, as you can see by the quality that we present through Mosaic Festival, quality that you see in cinema from MISAF, MISAF is considered one of the finest, small, tiny festivals. We were selected to go and represent Canada in Cannes Film Festival last year.
Awesome.
So
Congratulations.
you can see how much effort goes into it and what fabulous results it's yielding. We have a beautiful set of audience. We couldn't even think of showing a film about gay, lesbian relationships in Mississauga, because Mississauga is considered such a straight-laced city and audience. We have created such a great audience. We showcased the film which was banned in India, the Aligarh. We did its American premiere in Mississauga, and we got house full. It was an amazing audience that came to attend it. So what I'm saying is that we are very proud that we were able to develop this unique audience and bring such magnificent high-end art and culture to Mississauga.
I think what you've done better than almost anyone is you've connected people. You've connected people from different cultures, from different neighborhoods into a community. You've made people feel part of something bigger than themselves. And I think that's wonderful. And it's artists, it's the audience, it's the wider community. So thank you for what you do. I really appreciate it. Good luck with Mosaic Virtual this year, and good luck with bringing it back to the Celebration Square stage sometime soon. Asma and Arshad Mahmood, the organizers of the TD Mosaic Festival, check them out through their Facebook page or through their YouTube channel. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good evening, everyone. That's the show for tonight. Good night.